A normal day, a routine action, and then, suddenly, physics fails. Today, we document 3 individuals who died in accidents so statistically improbable they seem impossible. And yet, medical science documents their physical reality. This is Grim Records. A warning, this content contains explicit biomechanical details. Northwest Vista College, San Antonio, Texas, March 3rd, 2025, 9:27 a.m. What should have been routine groundskeeping would end with the brutal reality of mechanical physics. The subject, Jorge Gonzales, age 55, an experienced groundskeeping contractor with 27 years on the job. That morning, he was mowing the campus grounds on his commercial riding mower, a machine weighing 340 kilograms. At 9:27 a.m., Gonzales was traveling along a slightly sloped section of terrain. Ahead of him, unseen, was the edge of an embankment with a 1.8-meter drop. At 9:28, the mower's front wheels went over the edge. No ground contact. The vehicle tipped forward at a 68-degree angle, far exceeding its critical tipping point of 35 degrees. Gonzales had 0.4 seconds to react, but at age 55, his reflexes were delayed to 0.31 seconds. Not enough time. The mower began to fall, accelerating at 9.81 meters per second squared. Gonzales was thrown from his seat. He flew 1.2 meters forward and fell 1.8 meters down, hitting the concrete floor of a drainage ditch at 21 kilometers per hour. He landed on his back. Just 0.6 seconds later, the mower, 340 kilograms of steel and engine, landed directly on top of him. Let's understand what happened in the next 1.8 seconds. Phase 1, ground contact. As Gonzales's back hit the concrete, his thoracic spine compressed by 6 millimeters. His T7 vertebra suffered a compression fracture. 0.09 seconds later, the back of his head struck the concrete, causing an occipital fracture. Gonzales was instantly unconscious, but his body was still alive. Phase 2, mower impact. The 340-kilogram machine fell from 1.8 meters, delivering an impact energy of nearly 6,000 joules to his torso. In the first 40 milliseconds, his chest was compressed by 8.2 centimeters. Ribs 2 through 6 on both sides fractured simultaneously. His sternum split. His heart was directly contused, and the immense shear forces partially ruptured his descending aorta. In the next 40 milliseconds, the ruptured aorta began to hemorrhage. Blood pressure plummeted as 180 milliliters of blood per second flooded his chest cavity. In the final 40 milliseconds of impact, his fractured ribs lacerated both lungs. His oxygen saturation fell from 98% to 62% in under 4 seconds. Phase 3, the final 47 seconds. Gonzales was unconscious. His brain registered nothing, but his body fought. His contused heart continued to beat, first normally, then erratically, then racing in ventricular tachycardia before finally slowing down. In that time, 2.4 liters of his total blood volume drained into his chest. His blood pressure became unmeasurable. After the 50-second beat, his heart stopped. Asystole. Jorge Gonzales was dead. Time of death was recorded as 9:28 and 47 seconds. The autopsy cited traumatic cardiac failure from a severe crush injury. An investigation found a lack of fall protection at the embankment, which has since been marked with warning signs. Jorge Gonzales is survived by his wife and 3 children. Logansport, Indiana, August 27, 2024. A perfect summer day for a swim that would end with the conductive reality of water and electricity. In a backyard pool, 5 people were cooling off: Sarah Martinez and her children, Michael and Emma, along with their neighbor David Collins and his son, Tyler. A normal afternoon, until the physics of electricity took control. At 2:37 p.m., 12-year-old Michael swam to the pool's metal ladder. Beneath the pool deck, an electrical pump line, installed 21 years prior, had degraded. Its insulation, worn down by UV radiation and chemicals, was just 0.3 millimeters thick at a critical point. At 2:37 and 18 seconds, the cable made contact with the metal ladder. 240 volts of electricity surged into the water. The pool, and everyone in it, became part of a live circuit. Let's understand the electrophysiology. The moment Michael touched the ladder, 4.2 amperes of current flowed through his body. In the first 50 milliseconds, this massive shock overwhelmed his entire nervous system. His motor neurons fired uncontrollably, causing his muscles to seize in a tetanic contraction. He could not let go. Simultaneously, the shock disrupted his heart's natural electrical rhythm, sending it into ventricular fibrillation, a useless, chaotic quivering. With no blood being pumped, he lost consciousness within seconds. But he was still alive. The current spread throughout the pool. Sarah, Michael's mother, was 1.5 meters away. A 2.1 ampere current passed through her body, enough to cause fibrillation and respiratory paralysis. She collapsed. Emma, age 9, and David, the neighbor, were slightly further away but still received fatal doses of over 1 ampere each. They too went into fibrillation and lost consciousness. Only 14-year-old Tyler, at the far end of the pool, received a sublethal current. It was still enough for agonizing muscle contractions. 13 seconds after it began, Tyler, the only one still conscious, managed to scream. A neighbor heard him, ran to the circuit breaker, and cut the power. The current stopped. But for 4 people, it was too late. Emergency services arrived, but CPR was unsuccessful for Michael, Sarah, and David. Emma was revived but died in the hospital 2 hours later. Tyler was the sole survivor. The investigation found that 21-year-old defective wiring had never been inspected. The tragedy led to strengthened pool safety regulations in Indiana, a small comfort for the destroyed Martinez and Collins families. Boituva, Brazil, October 12, 2024. What should have been a routine professional skydive would end with the aerodynamic reality of fabric failure. The subject, Carolina Munoz Kennedy, age 40, a professional skydiver with over 2,800 successful jumps. She exited the plane at 4,200 meters. Everything was normal as she reached a terminal velocity of 195 kilometers per hour. At the planned altitude of 1,200 meters, Carolina pulled her main canopy, but it deployed incorrectly. 8 of the 24 suspension lines were tangled over the top, a malfunction known as a line over. The canopy only partially inflated, slowing her descent to just 87 kilometers per hour, still far too fast. She activated her reserve parachute, but in a moment of panic, she deployed the reserve without first jettisoning the malfunctioning main. The reserve canopy deployed directly into the tangled lines of the main. Both parachutes became hopelessly entangled. Let's understand the final minute. At 1,100 meters, with both canopies snarled, she began to spin violently, one full rotation every 2 seconds. The 4.2 GS of centrifugal force caused extreme disorientation and nausea. At 900 meters, her descent slowed to 62 kilometers per hour, but she was spiraling, desperately trying to untangle the lines. For a brief moment at 600 meters, the canopies seemed to separate, and her fall slowed. A moment of hope. But at 400 meters, they re-entangled and collapsed. Her fall velocity shot back up to 71 kilometers per hour. She had 8 seconds until impact. In the final 4 seconds, Carolina knew what was coming. Her body flooded with adrenaline, her muscles tensed for impact. She tried to position her legs, but it was too late. She struck a grassy meadow at 71 kilometers per hour. In just 180 milliseconds, the impact shattered her left leg, hip, ribs, and arm. Her body rolled, fracturing her spine and right ribs. Her spleen ruptured, her liver was lacerated, and her lung collapsed. Miraculously, her aorta held. Carolina remained conscious for 47 seconds, experiencing unimaginable pain before shock rendered her unconscious. Her heart continued to beat for another 6 minutes. She was pronounced dead at the scene. An investigation revealed a packing error in her main canopy. One line was trapped. The packer was identified as Carolina herself. One small mistake was enough to end a career of 2,847 successful jumps. 3 individuals: a lawnmower, a swimming pool, a parachute. Everyday objects, until physics decided otherwise. Every year, thousands of people die in accidents so statistically improbable that no one sees them coming. And yet, physics does not forget. Biomechanics does not forgive. This was Grim Records. Thank you for watching.